So week one, I want you to go ahead and I want you to work on getting comfortable moving in the frontal plane. So we're gonna go ahead and incorporate mini or low reach lateral split squats. And why are we gonna do those? Because what I found is that's the most dynamic way to go ahead and train frontal plane mobility through your hips. You're going to see immediately that there's also progressions we can build off of that. And then lastly, we're building from the ground up, which is the key to all our mobility exercises, is we want to go ahead and make sure we're training from the ground up because that's how we work. So let's go ahead and let's get into these lateral frontal low reach split squats and take you through how you're going to progress with them this week. First and foremost, we're going to use a band to assist us. Why do I want to use the band to assist us? Because it's going to allow me to move further. It's going to allow me to go further into the range of motion because it's going to assist with decreasing gravity. It's also going to decrease momentum, so we want to bring that in. We're also going to go ahead and bring in a couple other tools. We're going to bring in either the low box or potentially a chair or a stool to assist you if you need that so that you can go through larger amplitudes of range of motion. So let's go ahead and let's get into the movements or the positions first. There are going to be two positions. You're either going to face away from the band attachment or you're going to face perpendicular to the band attachment. Those are going to be the two movement positions. I want the band attached at your hip, and you want this band to be a relatively low to moderate level of resistance. It's all going to depend on this week how much assistance you need. I like to go ahead and use the yellow band because that's about the amount of assistance I need. You may find you need to increase this a little bit. However you want to do it, feel free to play around with it, but make sure the assistance is helping you. We want to make sure that we keep tension on the band at all times. That's going to be key because tension on the band is going to allow us to really learn how to move, but also how to go ahead and reach further. We're going to use our hands, obviously, to do the reach, and it's going to be either a one-arm reach or a two-arm reach. A two-arm reach will challenge your hip mobility more than a single-arm reach. We're also going to go ahead and make sure that we allow you to rest as needed. I'll take you through how I want you to go through this mini challenge workout this week, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, you need to rest as needed and realize that maybe the details and the programming that I use is a little bit too much for you, so make those adjustments. And again, I don't want you driving through pain. So if you have pain, we need to go ahead and find a modification. We need to adjust. I also want you to drive into a stiffness that's approximately a 3 to 4 out of 10. So when you're driving into it, you feel stiffness, you feel tightness, but it's about a 3 or 4 on a scale of 10, 10 being the worst possible stretch you could ever imagine. So there you go. That's how we're going to go ahead and get started. So now let's get into the movements I want you to work on. First and foremost, the first movement you're going to work on is just facing away from the band attachment. And we're going to go ahead and widen our feet as wide as we can. That's going to be important to challenge yourself to go as wide as possible. Now, all we're going to do is just reach to one side at a time. So we'll start with it going ahead and just doing a simple one-arm reach to the foot or to the floor. Now, if that's too hard, this is where you bring the stool in and you touch to a box or a stool. If you need support, you bring the stool in, so as you reach down, you can lean onto the stool and create a little bit more security and stability as you reach. So that's how I want you to go ahead and use the bench or the stool. Assuming you're not going to do that, we're going to start by just working this way for 1 minute. Then we're going to rest for 30 seconds and let our hips shake out. And then we're going to rest, move this way for 1 minute. Now, here's what I want you to realize. The band is pulling me back into a hip hinge as I'm reaching. As long as there's tension on the band, you'll be able to do that. So that's our first two exercises. Our next exercise, we're going to turn perpendicular. Once again, we're going to widen the feet. And we're going to reach down and come back up. Reach down and come back up. Or we're going to go two hands, reach down and come back up. 2 hands, reach down and come back up. And then we're gonna go ahead and finish up by just turning around, loading the band, wide feet, and once again, 1 hand or 2 hands. So there you go, that's your 4 exercises. You're gonna do each exercise for 1 minute, and then you're gonna take a 30-second rest, either to shake things out or just reposition yourself. And then you're gonna go for another minute. You're gonna do each movement once. I want you to go ahead and challenge yourself with those movements 3 times throughout the week. It can be back-to-back days, preferably every other day, and go ahead and start using those movements. Now the key is we want to challenge your mobility. So make sure you're following the criteria that I've laid out for you. But most importantly, if you can challenge your range of motion further, meaning you can reach further, or you can reach lower, you can widen your feet out more, I want you to go ahead and do that. Good luck this week.